that particular array, and you can name that array as stack. And in that stack you need to check whether the last whether the top element of the stack data structure is pointing to the last index, and you can call that index with the help of you can call that element with the help of max size minus 1. Okay, so when top of a stack is pointing to max size minus 1, you know that you are at the last index of that data structure, and because you are using static implementation, so you cannot update the size of already declared data structure. So in that case you have to print or display a message that you cannot proceed with the insertion operation. Okay, and similar to that you can perform deletion of any element, or you can pop any element from the stack data structure. And when you are performing the pop operation, you need to check whether stack is empty or not, because if stack is empty, then in that case you cannot delete any element, because there is no element in that existing stack data structure. Okay class, so I think the array implementation of stack is very easy, and you can uh, perform array implementation of a stack at your end. Okay, is there any doubt? Can I proceed for the next implementation, and that is linked list implementation. Okay, how can you implement a stack with the help of linked list? You can use singly linked list, you can use doubly linked list as per the requirement. Okay, let's suppose we are implementing a stack using a single linked list. What you need to do in that case, because we can perform insertion in multiple ways in a existing list. So you can perform insertion at the beginning, you can perform at the end, you can perform insertion somewhere in the middle position of given list. Okay, when you are implementing stack, you have to be careful about the principle followed by stack, that is last in first out principle. And in that case what you need to do, you just have to insert all the element from the beginning, and you have to delete or pop all the element from the begin and only, because you are using one and here, and that is the top and of the stack. So in this way the linked list implementation of stack will be performed. Okay, so implementing a stack using linked list, there are some steps given. The first step is store the element in the stack in a linked list, and the top of the stack is the head node initially, and whenever the linked list is empty, the top of stack will be null, and you can say that stack is empty in that case. Okay, the bottom of stack is the end of list. Fine. So whenever you have inserted only one element in the list, and that only element will be denoted by the head of the list, or you can say the top of a stack. Okay, and whenever you are removing any element from the stack, because you have to make sure that it is the linked list is behaving in last in first out manner, so you need to delete or remove element from the beginning on also. Okay, so pop the element by removing from the front of the list, or you can say from the head side or beginning side. When you are pushing any element, you need to insert element from the beginning side only. Okay class, so am I clear to you how can you implement a stack with the help of linked list? Because you can perform singly linked list implementation as well as you can perform the stack implementation in the same way. Okay, so when you are making a stack to behave like a linked list, sorry, when you are implementing a linked list to behave like a stack, what you need to do, you just have to be careful about these 2 points. Okay, the push operation and pop operation, you have to perform all these all two operation with the help of uh, beginning. Okay class, So, is there any doubt related to implementation of stack? Can you implement stack with the help of array as well as linked list? We'll be practicing the same program in the lab also, so it will be more clear there. But I think it is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, we can discuss now. Yes, class, any doubt? Okay, so the next the next is application of stack. We know there are multiple application of stack. You can compare with the real world example, as we discussed in yesterday lecture. A container which is uh, which is open on the upper side or top side, you can say that you are putting element in that container from one end, and you can only remove element from that particular container from the top end only. Okay, so based on the behavior of the stack, you can use the stack application in multiple ways, and here are these ways given to you. So the first application of stack, you can use stack to perform conversion of multiple expressions, and these expressions are arithmetic expressions we are talking about. Okay, so there are three type of expressions in mathematics, or you can say we prefer in calculation of some given data. So these expressions are, let me introduce you with the expressions. So automatic expressions can be in three ways. One is infix, another one is postfix, and prefix. So what is infix expression? These are the expression we generally use in mathematic implementation. And let me tell you, if I'm writing a plus b, so you can see here a is a is an operand, b is another operand, and what you are doing here, you are adding the values of a and b by using this operator. So in this expression, you can see there are two operands, and they are added, their value are added with the help of one operator. So when we are having expression in this form, that the operator is between these two operand, then you say that this kind of expression is infix expression. Okay, we can also use another method to represent the same expression, or same form of these two variables. You can say, whenever I'm representing the expression in the form that I'm writing the operator first and then the operands, then it is called the prefix expression, because the operator came before the operand, so it is called prefix. When I'm using another way, that is called the postfix expression, in that case you will be having all the operands before the operator. Okay, so when we are having operator after these operand, it is called postfix. So we can use three type of arithmetic expression. And why we are using different ways to represent the same operation, or the addition of two variable? Because in some application we need to follow another kind of arithmetic expression for the simplicity of that purpose, for the simplicity purpose. Okay, so class, if we talk about the calculation by the computer or operating system, then the most preferable expression type is the postfix expression. And let me tell you why the postfix expression is the most preferable application, or used generally used in operating system for the calculation of the given data. Because here you will see that if I'm writing this expression, let me tell you first. Okay, there are two concepts, and you have already heard about these concepts. One is precedence and another one is associativity. Okay, let me write by the initial of these two things. One is precedence, I'm calling with P, and another one is associativity. Okay, so if you are having any mathematical expression with you and you need to compute the result, then in that case, let's suppose I'm having an expression a plus b into c, then in that case what will happen, because there are multiple operators you have to perform, multiple operations you have to perform, so you have to be sure about the order of the execution of these given operator. Okay, so how will you decide the operator orders of execution? Based on this precedence and associativity. As we know, in mathematics we prefer the precedence in this way, that the multiplication, the precedence of this multiplication operator is higher than this addition operator. Okay, so whenever you are having two operators in this given in any given expression, what you need to do, you can apply one operator at a time, so you need to choose which operator should be applied first. Okay, and based on this precedence, based on the given precedence, you can perform or you can apply operations. Class, it is quite disturbing that you are requesting me to join for the class, and I already told you that I wouldn't allow any one of you after starting the class. Okay, okay, so we were discussing about the evaluation of expression. So if the expression is given in the form of, let's say, infix expression, then what you need to do here, you need to choose the operators, and based on the given precedence or defined precedence, you can choose or you can apply operator as per their preference. Okay, or precedence. So here what you need to do, you have to multiply b and c first, and then the resultant will be added into the a. Okay, so uh, the same thing is the same thing is applicable to the computer. When any expression is given to the computer, for a correct answer or for a correct result, the precedent should be defined, or the precedent should be applied by the system, because it is hard, because there are a large number of operators, and there will be a number of precedents for all these operators, and it is actually difficult to remember all those precedents at the time, or it is uh, or you have to make a separate program to define all the precedents. So what happened here, the postfix expression is usually used because it says that two operators are here, and the sequence of two operands are here, and the sequence of this operator decide whether this operator should be applied first or not. Okay, so let me tell you first what will happen in the case of postfix expression. If I am converting this given expression in the form of postfix, then for the postfix conversion you need to follow its precedence and associativity rule. And if I'm having b into c first, so I can write, or if I need to convert this infix into postfix form, so what you have to do, you just have to write two operand first and the operator, and the sequence will be like b c into, and the resultant is here, and here you can write a first, and then this operator will come. Okay class, so I'll explain in detail how can you convert any given infix into prefix and postfix expression. But here you only need to understand that if any postfix expression is given to you, then you don't have to use any precedence and associativity rule. Why so? Because all the sequence of these operators already decide that which operator should applied first. Okay, so if you are having multiple operands, then you will see that a b c are three operands, and the first operator is multiplication. So this first the order of the operator the order of these operators should be 1 and 2. So the occurrence of these operator decide their precedence. Okay, because we have already converted the infix in the postfix by using these rules as precedence and associativity rules. Okay, so some operands are there, some operators are there, and if the expression is in postfix form, then it is already order decided to the operating system, and operating system don't have to remember all the precedence and associativity rule to perform any calculation. Okay class, so the operate, and now the very important question is, how can we evaluate then these given postfix expression, because we have studied only the calculation of such type of expression, that is infix expression. How can we evaluate, or how can we show that which operand should be applied for this operator? The multiplication is given here because you are having three number of operands, and you cannot apply this operator on these three operator at a time. So you need to be sure which operands should be selected for this multiplication operator. Okay, here because we have already discussed about this given infix, and it is the conversion of this infix to postfix. And here in this case, you know that b and c should be multiplied first and the addition should be done here. But if you are given any postfix expression in a random way, what you need to do in that case, you just have to use stack to evaluate such postfix expression. So it is one of the important application of stack in evaluating postfix expressions. With the help of stack, you can easily implement all these postfix expression. And the advantage of postfix expression I already discussed with you. Whenever you are having any expression in the form of postfix, you don't have to remember the precedence and associativity rules, because it is already converted in that way that the order of operator define its precedence or preference you can apply. Okay class, so I hope this application of stack is clear to you, how we can use stack in evaluating any postfix expression. So here the operating system always use the postfix form to evaluate the given expression, and for that it uses a stack to evaluate such given expressions. Okay, again back to the first application, we were discussing the conversion of given expression. We can also use stack to perform the conversion from one form to another form of expression. Okay, so infix to postfix conversion we can use stack, infix to prefix we can also use stack, and postfix to infix and prefix to infix in reverse conversion we can also use stack. So there is the important application of stack in conversion of given arithmetic expressions from one form to another form. Okay, the second application is in backtracking, because you know the feature of stack. Once we are having a stack, and just a minute, the another application of stack, let me discuss the application number 6 first. If you are having a sequence of string, let's suppose you are having ABC. In the sequence, a string is given to you, and you know the string is sequence of character. And here you want to reverse this given string, or you want to reverse this given word. Okay, what you need to do, with the help of stack you can easily reverse this given string, because you know the principle of a stack is last in first out. So what you have to do here to reverse this given string, you just need to push all the element of all the character of this given word one by one, starting from left to the right. Okay, once you have added all the element in the stack, now you will see that the last character of this given string or word is at the top side of the stack. You can just pop out these elements from the stack, and the sequence of popping will be the reverse of given string. So in this way, you by just pushing all the element of given string, and once you have pushed, you can pop out these element one by one, and the popping sequence will be a reverse string of the original string. Okay, so it is another example of a stack. You can use stack to reverse a given string, and doesn't matter what will be the size of given string. So in using the stack, you can easily reverse a given word or string. Okay, another application of stack is in backtracking, because you know that it follows the sequence of last in first out. So whenever we talk about the backtracking is a way of tracking a sequence in a backward direction if you found that there are some mistakes, and you are not proceeding to the correct answer. So when there are some situation, this backtracking is generally used in the compiler. Okay, so when we use compiler, and when you will study about the various grammar implementation, one of them is regular expression, or let me tell you the context free grammar. In that case, you need to maintain some tree, and that is called syntax tree, and in that kind of tree you will use backtracking phenomena to show that the string is going to be correct or not. And if you found at some time that this will not give you any desired string, in that case you can backtrack. And because you are backtracking, let's suppose if I talk about the same example we have discussed in reversing a string. So you will see that if you are having a sequence of these characters, and once you found that you have entered B, but at that time you you remind that this is not the correct sequence, and the next character should be C in place of B, then in that case you can backtrack, means you can go to another branch also. Okay, that is called backtracking, and it is a concept we generally use in making the syntax tree or in the compiler to check for the correctness of some given expressions. Regular expression, context free grammar, some concept are there. Okay, uh, the next application, the application number 4, is similar to parsing, and the parsing is another concept which we generally use in compiler. There are some parsing bottom up, top down. So there we use the concept of stack. So basically there are some application of stack in the compiler and automata also. Okay, we have already discussed the fifth one application, and now the very important application of stack, and that is stack frame. Let me tell you this about this expression. Just a minute, let me erase. Okay, so the fifth application is the third application is stack frame. What is a stack frame actually? Class, when you are implementing any C function, or you are passing some argument in that function, or you are returning any value from that function to print a desired value in the previous function, you can say in the main function, then what will happen, how these all spaces managed by the computer, or what will happen, let me tell you. If I'm having a function, let's suppose the name of function is a, and this function is returning some kind of value, let's suppose integer value this function is returning, and I have passed some argument from this function, and let's suppose there are two argument, and both these argument are of integer type, and I'm passing two argument b and c here, and this is the complete structure of this function. And there is one more statement, and that is called return statement. Okay, because you know that if you need to perform a set of code again and again, what you can do, you can make a separate function for that particular set of code. Okay, because with the help of function you can reuse that code by just calling this function again and again in your main function. Okay, so this is the application of any function. But whenever you are executing any function, what will happen about the memory management? Okay, how the memory is managed, or how these values which you are passing from the function, or how these values are updating, or how these value are storing in the computer memory. Okay, so all these memories are stored in the computer with the help of this stack frame. Okay, and this is the application of stack frame. So what stack frame basically do, whenever you call a function, the complete space required by that function will stored in a stack. And what are they? They are the argument used by that function, they are the return value used by that function, they are the return type of that function. So all these things, the argument, the return value, and the return type, so everything about that function will be stored in a temporary space, and that temporary space you say is stack frame. You can also show, you can also say, or you can also compare this stack frame with the buffer. So when we are using some temporary space, and that space is going to be updated in future, then you can say that it is stack frame, or it is the application of the stack. Okay, so whenever you are executing any function, the all the space occupied by that function, or all the space, you can see the temporary space occupied by that function will be stored in the form of stack data structure. Okay, so in this stack frame application, we are using stack to temporarily store all the argument, all the return type, and everything about that function will be stored here. Whenever you will be calling this function next time, again this stack will be updated, or the next value will be updated over here in this already occupied space. Okay, the third time you will call this function, again the value will be updated here. Okay, so these are the main application of stack we have discussed. In expression conversion we use stack. In some compiler application like backtracking, parsing, we use stack. And stack frame, that is temporary space or buffer, we use stack. In evaluating some postfix expression, stack is used. And to reverse a given string, we can easily use stack. So there are some application of stack, and we will be discussing all these application. And the next we will be discussing all the conversion we can perform on given expressions. Okay. Okay, one more application is here, because stack is used as last in first out data structure. So you can also use stack in some browsers. Okay, so in browsers, what you do, basically the back button in a browser saves all the URL you have visited previously, and you will see that there is some history. And whenever you are opening a new URL, the already the previous URL will be updated automatically, and always the recent URL will be at the top. Okay, so recent will be at the top, and the past one will be at the bottom. So in it way, all the URL will be added on the top of the stack. So recent one will be at the top. So if you want to access any URL you have accessed in the past, then what you need to do here, you have to check all the previous URL, and all these URL will be stored in the form of stack. So there is another this is another example of stack application. Okay, again here we have discussed how can we reverse a string, and we have already discussed with the help of example, and it is clear to you. Another one is arithmetic expression, and we will be discussing all these expressions and their conversion using stack one by one. So let me start from here. As you know, the definition of all these expressions we are using for the arithmetic expression, these are infix, prefix, and postfix. Prefix are also called the Polish notations, and postfix, also called the reverse Polish notations. Okay, so we generally use this notation keyword for this arithmetic expressions. Okay, the form of arithmetic expressions are already I have discussed with you. If you are writing any expression in the form of infix, then in that case the operator will be between the operands. Okay, so because we generally use this form of expression in mathematics. The prefix one, we are given any expression or the operators come first, then the operands. Okay, so if there are two operands, then the operator will come first, and this is called the Polish notation also. The next one is postfix expression, and in postfix we are having this operator after all the operands. Class, you can see here these are the binary operator. When we are having two operands to apply on a single operator, this is called the binary operation. And if I say, or if I talk about the you can see the logical operator. So in that case you can also apply the logical operator on two given operands if we talk about the and or operator. But if we talk about the not operator, or if we talk about the unary minus operator, then in that case to apply these two operator you need to have only single operand. Okay, so if we are having, or if we are applying single operator on single operand, then it is called unary operation. And in the postfix form you can also write it in the form of, let's suppose I'm having an operand a, and you want to negate its value as minus a. So if you are applying the not or this unary minus on this on any given operand, then in that case it will be calculated in this form in prefix. And if I talk about the postfix, then it will be like a, and then the operator will come after this operand. Okay, so the form of all these expressions are clear to you. Now uh, let us discuss the conversion from one form to another form. Okay, we can generally convert a form, a given expression form, to another form. But we can also use for a simple implementation. If I'm having an arithmetic expression with multiple operands, or you can say the large number of operands and operator are there, in that case you can prefer stack to convert such expressions. Okay, and we will be implementing a program for the conversion also. So here the general conversion examples are given. So first you need to know how we actually converting one form to another form. So here are some infix notations are given, and you need to convert these infix into prefix. Okay, and similar to postfix. So what we basically do while converting these infix to prefix and postfix, the very important thing you need to be careful about the precedence and associativity rule. Once you are converting any expression from one form to another form, the precedence and associativity of the operators should be clear to you. Okay, so class, you all need to remind the precedence and associativity chapter in C language. Okay, so because we are preferring here C language, and most of the precedence and associativity rules given in the C language is the basic rules we generally follow in another language also. Okay, so remind all those precedence and associativity rule. Let me tell you the some basic precedence rule of some given operator. So if we talk about the general operator, let's say plus, minus, multiplication and division, so you will see that the uh, precedence of plus and minus is equal. Okay, so what we generally do when we are having two operator with the same precedence, in that case we need to follow the associativity rules. And what is that? Associativity rules tells us about the sequence of these two equal precedence operator, in which sequence we should apply them, because we can apply only one operator at a time. So when the precedence of two operators are equal, in that case we follow the associativity, and it decide the sequence from left to right or right to left, depends on the operator. So the precedence of all arithmetic operators are from, sorry, the associativity of all arithmetic operators are always from left to right. Okay, so when you are having plus and minus at a time, what you need to do, you need to follow the left to right sequence. So the operator which is leftmost should be applied first and then the next operator. So here we are preferring left to right sequence. Okay, class, any doubt? Is it clear to all? Okay, so we can proceed with these given expressions, and some basic examples are here. Let me discuss the first example with you. If the expression is given in the form of infix as a plus b, you can write plus ab and ab plus as prefix and postfix respectively. Okay, the second example we need to discuss here, and here you will see the application of parentheses also. The application of these parentheses are also very important, and you need to consider these parentheses at each step, and if you see their precedence, then the parenthesis precedence is highest always. Okay, so if expression is given in the form of a plus b in parentheses multiplication, see, in that case what you need to do first, because the precedence of plus and multiplication, plus is having lower precedence than multiplication, but here is you are having some parentheses, so you need to be careful about these parentheses. And whenever you are having parentheses in the expression, their precedence is highest, so you need to compute the parenthesized expression first. Okay, so here we will be computing a plus b first in this given parenthesis, and then we will remove the parenthesis from the expression and then multiplication operator. Okay, so if I'm writing a plus b in the form of prefix, what should I write? I should write as plus ab. Okay, so whenever I am having this plus ab, you can see that plus ab is another operand now, and the second operand is c. So whenever you are having two operand and you are having an operator, in that case if you are writing in prefix form, then write the operator first and then the uh, both operands in the sequence, first operand then second operand. Okay, so the prefix conversion is clear to you, and similar way we will be converting in postfix form. First we need to convert a plus b in postfix as ab plus, and whenever you are having ab plus as the resultant value or calculated value, you can say, so now this is one operand and another operand is c, and you are applying multiplication, so this operator will come after these two operands. Okay guys, so it is very simple conversion. Let's proceed to another conversion, and in the third example you will see, again we need to follow or we need to remove these parentheses first, b and c, and while applying the b and c, it it will become b plus bc in prefix and bc plus in postfix. Okay, and once you are having these operands with you, you can apply another operand, and the another operand you will see is a. Class, whenever you are converting the these form of expression from one form to another form, in that case you need to be careful about the sequence of occurrence of these operand and operator. Okay, so if operand, doesn't matter in which sequence you are applying the operator, but the occurrence of these operators, occurrence of these operand should be maintained in resultant expression. Okay, so you will see we are applying b plus c, but the occurrence of a is first, so the sequence of a should be maintained before these operands. Okay, is there any doubt in third example? It is clear to all of you? Okay, let me discuss another examples 4, 5 and 6. uh, Okay, so you are having a divide b plus c divide d. Again, you are having two operators, divide and divide. with equal precedence, and now you need to decide based on associativity, that is left to right for this operator. So you need to compute a divide b first. Okay, so first we will compute a divide b in prefix form as well as in postfix form. Once you have computed this, what you need to do, you need to apply the second, that is c divide d, and the c divide d is equal to divide cd, and here cd divide. Okay, so here you will see that you are having two operand now. One is in prefix form, one is divide ab, another one is divide cd. So you need to apply this plus operator on these two resultant operands. Okay, so if prefix we are using, then plus will come before these two operands, and if we are using postfix, then plus will come after these operands. Okay, next one is fifth and sixth. uh, Again a plus b multiplication c plus d, we are having plus plus in the parenthesis, so need to apply a plus b first, then c plus d, and the third sequence should be multiplication, and it is similar to previous example, we can compute in this way. Okay, the next example is a plus b into c minus d, and you are having nested parenthesis loop here, so you need to be careful about it while implementing such application such expressions. So a plus b should be applied first, and then this in this sequence multiplication d, doesn't matter what is the precedence of next operator. Okay, the operators in parentheses should be computed first. Fine. So in this case, the prefix will be plus ab. So it will come as one result, and in the next sequence you will be having c, and the operator will come first in prefix, and then you will be having on this complete operand you are applying the subtraction operation with second operand, that is d. Okay, so it will come in this sequence. So when you are computing the when you are converting from one form to another, make it underline so that it will become easy for you to understand what you need to do in the next step. Okay, so if we convert this expression in the form of postfix, let me tell you what you need to do here. You just have to make it underline, and now this uh, underline thing is an operand now, and in the second step you need to perform this multiplication, and you have operand as c, and here are two operands now, and the first operand, then the second operand underline, and the operator. Okay, so always the form will be same. Now you are having all these operand and operator sequence as a single operand, and the second operand is d, and the operator should be applied here is